guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Aisha Noor, or you can just call me Noor. While here I do makeup while telling you murder cases that keep me up all night. And don't forget to subscribe, like, share and leave a comment, and also hit the bell icon down below. So today we are going to talk about a very notorious criminal here in Kenya. He went by the name of Edward Minor Shimoli. And with this story, honestly, I did my eyebrows off camera as always. So with this story, I'm not going to like start with his childhood like I always do with the others. I'm just going to like jump right into it. Actually, I'm going to start at the end of the story when he met his demise, and then we are going to work our way through his life and his crimes. So there's not so much about his personal life, it's down to business. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. Edward died in 2007, and there were only 12 people in attendance of his burial, and they did his burial in a haste. Like I said, only 12 people attended. They were afraid that police will come and like disrupt the ceremony, so they had to bury him as quickly as possible. So who's this guy who gave not only Kenyan civilians but the police also sleepless nights? Well, he was a very ruthless gang leader. He came from Butere in Mumias, and he was only 20 when he started his crime life. That's pretty young. And his choice of weapon, he liked using the Taurus pistol. So this guy was a serial killer. He was a serial rapist. He was a serial bank robber. He was a drug dealer, and he also did manage to escape from prison multiple times. So he gave police sleepless nights, obviously. And to be exact, the amount of crimes he committed 14 murders. He raped 88 women. Where do you get the willpower to from 1 to 88? That's a lot. He did commit a few bank robberies, and like I said, he was a drug dealer, and he was notoriously known for escaping prison like prison was his home. He knew Kamiti Maximum Prison like the way he knows at the back of his hand. His gang was mostly led by women. Ironically, he raped women and then he employed women to, lead his gang. And when he was asked why women though, he said they bring less suspicion. I mean, they bring less suspicion. I could see his reasoning. So these women were feared, they were ruthless, and they did manage to rob a bank. They robbed Baroda Bank at Kenyatta Avenue, and they managed to get away with 5 million Kenya shillings. So you can imagine, like, they gave police like sleepless nights, and the police feared this gang, so it had to be like a really ruthless gang. They showed no mercy in what they did. They were just there kuchafua, doing what they do, yeah. And they made sure that they gave police extra homework, and police really had their work cut out for them when it came to this gang, to this man and his gang. So police did try their best to capture Shimoli and his gang, but unbeknownst to police, this guy, he had a police walkie-talkie in his possession. So he will actually listen to police conversation and how they communicate. So he will always be like step ahead from them, and they wondered how is this guy always like 2 or 3 steps ahead from us. That's because he had a walkie-talkie. He listened to all their conversation, and he planned his next move by that. You see, the thing is that Shimoli, as much as he was feared by a large population, he was also really loved when it came to his neighborhood. He was like a hero, if I may say. He was literally a hero because he used to solve like domestic issues. If somebody robbed you, you just find Shimoli and be like, yo, you know, I've been robbed, like my TV has been taken and this, and he'd find the people who do that and he'd give them 24 hours to return your things, and believe it or not, your things will be returned. He was like really anything in his hood, anyone in his hood or his area, you don't touch that. His gang would never touch that. That was his rule. But anything outside his area, his home area, he just doesn't care. Kill it, you know, swipe it away. So yeah, he was kind of a hero in his neighborhood and people actually loved him. This one guy who met Shimoli at a bar once said that he didn't know, he had heard of Shimoli, but he wasn't like, he had never seen him, like, so he doesn't know how he looks. But his friend who was acquainted to Shimoli said, yo, that's Shimoli. And he's like, he said that he feared, like, baridi limuingia. He just felt like, you know, shivers. This is the Shimoli. He is in the same bar as I am. And everyone just kept quiet. The power this man had, everyone just kept quiet, and soon after he bought drinks for everyone. So he was actually a very smart guy. He made sure anyone who he encountered with, he'd leave a positive note. So he'd help you in some kind of way, or like buy you, you know, something, or give you something, so that he can use that as a manipulation tactic later on. So he literally bought his loyalty from people. And it is also alleged that this is how he also bought some police loyalty. It's alleged that he had some police working for him from the inside, and this is why he was able to really escape from prison quite a number of times. A special unit was assigned to hunt this man down and his gang, and police did receive a tip in 1999, and he was at Kino in Kiambu, so they went there. But obviously, who is Shimoli? The guy who is always steps ahead from the police. So he was steps ahead. He had already fled, but police managed to retrieve one AK-47, 2 pistols, and, you know, cars that they used to commit robberies with, and fake car plate numbers. So that's what they managed to retrieve from his place, but he had already fled. So on August in 1999, he was finally captured, and he was tried at the Kiambu courts and sentenced in Kamiti Maximum Prison. That's where he will spend his days. He was sentenced to death. He was going to be, you know, killed. I don't know how I feel about death sentences, but I don't know how I feel about death sentences. Anyway, he was sentenced to death, and he was convicted of 88 counts of rape, 14 counts of murder, several counts of bank robberies, and drug dealing, obviously. So when he was at Kamiti, police do describe Shimoli as a very soft-spoken man, a man who is just to himself. He really doesn't bother anyone. He was really quiet, and unbeknownst to police, all this while him being like silent, quiet, and all to himself, he was planning his escape, because I mean, he has duties he needs to take care of in the street. He has a whole gang. Anyway, so he did manage to escape. He executed his plan and he escaped prison. And on the day he escaped prison, one police officer did see him and tried to stop him, but it resulted to Edward breaking the police's leg and he fled. And it is also alleged that he was able to do this because in prison he was also known to, you know, like bribe officers, like give them a little, you know, some, and you know, so he'd befriend them and he'd like keep an eye on them and their routine and how tight the security was, and he kind of had like inside jobs. All this is alleged, and that's why he managed to, you know, make a run for it from prison. And he joined his gang, and woo, they were happy because this gang was like really loyal to their leader. They really listened to him, and they welcomed him, they celebrated him. And this time they hid in a Ruiru forest. That's where they hid. So police were back to square one. I mean, they thought that, oh, finally we are done with the Shimoli, finally Kenyans are going to like crest. But now they're back to square one. So obviously people are, you know, are high on alert, like Shimoli is out there. And a statement was released saying that they wanted Shimoli either dead or alive. So once again, police were on the hunt for Shimoli. He was captured again and arrested, and once again he escaped from prison. I told, like, this guy sees like prison is kind of like his rural area. He knows every beaten corner and, you know, place and how to deal with everything. This is how he felt when he was in prison, because he's like, I'm in prison, I know exactly what I'll do, I know who I'll talk to. Anyway, so police did manage to put down 2 gang members that were working for Shimoli, and this managed to shake him a bit. So he started working in the night, he started hiding, and he did start using, you know, fake identification. He was yet again captured. Say hi to Bear. And after that, like, he was captured again. Like I was saying, like, this guy, it almost seems to me he derives pleasure from this game. To him, it's like a game of like hide and seek, Tom and Jerry game. Like, you know, police are after him and then they catch him and then they escape. It's, oh my god, it's exhausting. Stay in prison, man. You don't belong out in the streets. So he was captured and he was taken to Kibra Law of Courts, and he was again, like, his counts are still the same, like rape, murder, you know, robbery, drug dealing. That's what he was. And this time he was also sent to prison because he beat 2 police officers. And then again, bear with me, just bear with me, because he managed to escape again. Like, you see, it's kind of like a joke to him. Like, just bear with me, because I know it gets exhausting by the number of times this guy manages to escape from prison. And honestly, at this point, Kenyans were really tired of this. I didn't go through that phase, but just by telling this case, I'm tired of this guy. And honestly, at this point, Kenyans were tired. I mean, obviously, I'm also tired of this guy. So they did point the fingers to police. They're like, you guys are not even, you cannot protect the whole country from this one man and his gang. I mean, he controls his gang, so you cannot protect the whole country from this one man. Because it was alleged that he had Shimoli had inside job, that some police who were helping him, the police bosses were mad and they ordered every police to be on the hunt and the look for Shimoli. They wanted his head on a plate. Well, not literally, but they really wanted him that bad, because like they were so tired of him and so angered by him and the guts and the nerve of this man. It's like he's just playing with police officers and it's kind of like he's enjoying it. Police did search for him tirelessly for 3 days, and after those 3 days he was again captured. You think this is the last time he's going to get captured? Well, we'll see. But at this time when he was captured, he had an injury and he was taken to Kenyatta National Hospital, where, you know, doctors tended to him. And I watched an interview of one of the doctors who tended to Shimoli, and he says that he, contrary to what he had painted in, you know, in public of who he was, as a matter of fact a really calm guy. He really never said too much. When he was asked of something, he'd do it. When the doctor asked him a question, he'd answer like how he was like supposed to, kind of like how he was in prison. So I don't know, I don't, he's very confusing, because like he can put, I don't know if it's how he manipulates people, because he can put up a show. That's what I was trying to say. He can put up a show, and all this while he was in hospital being tended to, his gang was, you know, planning to rescue him from police, because this guy was under 24-hour surveillance by the police. He could not be left alone for even a single minute. Police really did guard him with their lives, and his gang, they really liked their leader, because they were like, we're going to rescue him, and they were planning to. So on the day of his release at Kenyatta Hospital, he was being taken to court. His gang striked, and funny enough, police, they had like top-notch security, you know. With this man, it was like the president's escort. He had so many officers, you know, guarding him. But this is like a movie, because do you know what his gang did? They opened fire in the middle of Nairobi. It was like a gunfire fight in the middle of Nairobi. Like, and when the bullets stopped flying around and it was all silent, police did realize that the gang succeeded in taking their leader. I mean, it is a never-ending situation with this guy. He just never stops. He doesn't know when to stop. People are tired. The police are tired. You're giving people sleepless nights. So by the help of rental doctors, they nursed him back to health. Those doctors, anyway, they nursed him back to health. And when he got well, he was up for revenge. He wanted blood, because he said that he is coming for every police who was associated with his situation. Like, I'm coming for you guys. And soon afterwards, there were bodies being found in forests. There was so much like uptick in violence, crime. All those things were happening. Let me just do my lashes off camera and I'll be right back. I'm back, not only with the lashes. I lost control and did the rest of the makeup. Anyway, it was just the lips and the lashes. So there was an uptick of violence and killings, and police were really set to like get this man. And the Department of Special Crime and Prevention Unit, I had to read that, and Prevention Unit joined forces with the flying squad to get this man. And what they decided to do is that they decided to use small-time criminals to get to Shimoli, and they succeeded. Some of the criminals who were working with Shimoli actually went ahead and betrayed him. So they ended up betraying him, and he was once again caught by the police. But you can take a rest now. It was the last time he was ever caught by the police. He was sentenced to 8 years in prison, and on his release day, he did serve the full term, and on his release day he told police that he doesn't want to be released. He asked if he could stay in prison, reason being he feared for his life. Well, he claimed that his life was in danger. That's what he told police, and police were like, no, you served your full time, it's time for you to go. And he claimed, he even told publications that his life is in danger, and he knows that for a fact, and he will like really love to stay in prison. But do you know the irony of this whole thing is that this guy was once sentenced to death, and now he was just given 8 years in prison. And when he asked to stay in prison, the only time he wanted to stay in prison was the only time the police were like, no, you can go your way, just bye. He stayed in Jericho with his wife and 4 kids, and this time he seemed to be, more in tune with himself and his spirituality and he even converted to Islam, taking up the name of Mohammed Shaban Mina. And he was really reflecting on himself, still claiming that his life is in danger all this while. He even started working as a taxi driver. He took steps back and was like, I don't think I want to live that kind of life that I was living. He reformed, to say the least. To put it in loose words, he had reformed, and all this while he still complained. He still says that his life is in danger. And one day, unfortunately, his body was found on Kangundo Road, and whoever killed this, he was murdered, and whoever murdered this man seemed to have really tortured him, and have his last minutes of being alive were pretty not good, because he was tortured and he was in a really vulnerable state because his hands were tied, and he was shot 10 times. So when his family was informed, obviously they were saddened by this, and they went to take his body at City Mortuary, and that's when they proceeded to bury him at Kariakor grounds for Muslims. And like I said in the beginning of the video, his burial was in a haste because they really didn't want police to like come and disrupt the ceremony. They paid him his last respects, and he did leave behind 4 kids and his wife. Yeah, so that was his ending. He didn't have a pretty nice ending, and the people who knew him blamed the police for his death. They were like, we know it's police who killed him, because some still believed he had the money that he stole, but I guess he didn't, because he was like, I don't have any money. But then police, on the other hand, being interviewed, they were like, it's not police. If police wanted to kill this man, we will have killed him long time ago. So it definitely is not police. And I mean, they even said maybe it's one of his other criminals, people he worked with. Who is to say that a criminal can't kill a criminal? That's what the police says. And yeah, so that's the tiresome story of Edward Minor Shimoli, or Mohammed Shaban Minor. It would be a crime if I ended this video without a little story time of what happened today to me early in the morning. So we woke up pretty early. We always do around 5, pray, and then go back. You do whatever you want. So we decided to like go to the beach, like jog to the beach and get that morning vitamins and work out a bit. It was nice. So I was jogging, and then I don't know how it happened, but I fell down so hard in front of so many people. The adrenaline in me, I didn't even like feel the pain at the moment. I just stood up. No, my mom and my sister were like a little bit behind, so I looked back and I didn't see them. I swear if I saw them I would have cried, but lucky for me I didn't see them. So I just stood up and I continued jogging, and then after jogging for a few minutes, the pain like struck me. Like I really hurt my leg so bad, and like you can see, that's why I'm wearing like bandages. But I still went to the beach. I still, you know, enjoyed the ocean. It was really beautiful. It was really beautiful. I'm going to show you how it looked. I'm going to like insert a little video of the ocean and the video that I took, but that was my morning today. Anyway, stay safe. Until next time, make good choices. I'm still shaken from what happened this morning in the middle of the road and cars were passing. Make good choices and stay safe. Wear your mask, sanitize, and do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share while at it. See you. Bye bye.